Whew! Long time coming. But anyways, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel where transparency meets trading. My name is Tiana and I am back with another video. And if you're new here, this is a channel where I share my true and transparent journey day trading. And so we really just gonna cut to the chase. For those that have been subscribed for a while now, my real OGs, you guys know that I haven't posted a video in the last 3 or 4 months. I think the last video I posted was a day in the life as me as a nursing student and a day trader. But since then, I kind of went blank, or I kind of fell off the grid. And so this video is going to be explaining why I stopped trading for the last 3 months, what's been going on in my life, new updates and what's coming, my plans going forward, moving forward as a day trader, the things that I'm changing as a day trader, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, number one, what's been going on the last 3 months? So the reason that I stopped posting videos as well as stopped trading is because some of you guys know I was doing a nursing program that was an accelerated program, which means it lasted for only 1 year. And this was a program for me to get my RN license. And so towards the end of the program, you know, you have finals, you have your exit exam for those of you that have been through that process. And there's a lot going on. You're doing clinicals, working 12-hour shifts while also trying to go to class, wake up and not, lose your brain. Because I'm going to be honest, your girl was being drugged by her wig, the edges, all of it. It was a lot. And I'm just keeping it transparent. And it became a lot for me to handle. And for me personally, I have to prioritize. At that moment, I have to prioritize my education. One, because I'm paying for it. Two, because I take what I do in my career very seriously. Nursing is something that is important to me. And I wanted to make sure that I graduated with a good GPA. Your girl graduated with a 3.6. 3.6 because that's important to me, because I may want to continue my education in the future. And I just want to actually make sure that I was fully grasping and learning everything that I needed to learn within those last few months, and so that I would be prepared to take my board exam, which was going to come after my graduation. All right, so let's just kind of compile it into one thing. I was studying for the last few months of school so that I can finish school. I studied and I took my licensure exam. I passed. I got my first job as a nurse. And on top of that, something else that's really important, I moved back home into my house with my mom. And so my reason for doing this is, one, it also goes into trading as well, but just overall, I want to take these next 2 to 3 years to save my money, invest my money, build up my accounts and things of that sort, and really just figure out what this next season of life looks for me in that aspect. With that being said, let's talk about why I took a break from trading for 3 months with all of this going on, as well as YouTube. For those of you that know, trading isn't something that you can just do on the fly. It's something that requires your mind, body, and spirit. It's something that requires you to be focused, and something that requires your emotions to be in check. And so during that 3 months, as you could probably imagine, I was going through a lot of emotions, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. This was a big milestone for me, something that I've been working towards for the last 4 or 5 years, to get my license as a registered nurse. And I'm gonna keep saying registered nurse. Look, bear with me. I'm gonna keep saying it because I am proud of myself. But either way it goes, it takes a lot to put into it. And so I wanted to make sure that I'm not just placing trades on a chart. I'm not just waking up and placing something and just hoping for the best because I'm really busy. I'm also not trying to play around on the charts while I am working clinicals in a hospital with patients. Not saying that, you can't trade and stuff while you're nursing. But for me as a student, I don't know everything yet. And I'm going to be honest about that. I can be humble about that. I don't know everything in my career. So it's very imperative that I pay attention and not be busy doing something else, during that time. Because again, people's lives are at stake. So I just had to make a decision to put down trading, not only to save my financial accounts and make sure I'm not doing anything crazy, but also, again, to focus on my career and my journey, because that's very important. So, little tidbit, if you have a lot going on in your life, it is okay to take a break from trading. It is okay to take 1 month, 2 months off. You know, I was still looking at my charts. Like, I still knew what was going on in the markets. I was glancing at them every day. I might not have been actively placing trades, but I still knew what was going on. I would still probably mark up once a week just to see if things were playing out, but I wasn't actively on the charts. So again, it's okay for you to take a few months off if you need to get your mind right, to get your money right, to get your spirit right, just whatever you need to do when you're transitioning between seasons. I think a lot of times we think that we have to be on the charts 25/8, but if you notice, even with school, you have summer breaks, you have Thanksgiving breaks, even with work, you have paid time off, you have time off that you take to go vacation with your family. With that being said, it's the same thing as trading. You need to take that time off in order to make sure that you are good enough to trade, and when you come back and refreshed and you're in a good mindset in order to do so. So that was my reasoning for taking a break. But I assure you, rest assured, your girl is getting back on them charts because I missed them and they missed me. They missed me, and I also missed you guys as well. So I do want to address that and just thank you guys for those that were reaching out to me on Instagram. Thank you guys that were leaving comments asking where I was. I really appreciate that a whole lot, because I'm gonna be honest, you know, my channel is not that big and I didn't realize that people were actually checking for me. I was like, dang, they miss me a little bit, it kind of make you feel good, just a little bit. But so yeah, I really just thank y'all for that. And I wanted to sit down and actually talk to you guys. I feel like I owed you guys that, even if it is just a small group of us. I wanted to be honest and transparent because that's what this video is. I mean, that's what my channel is about. All right, let's talk about some real deal stuff, because while I have been gone, there have been some major changes to my trading that I'm going to make. And there have been changes to the trading industry as well. I feel like people are not talking about it. People are not being transparent about it. I personally haven't seen any videos about it. But I do want to talk about it and tell you guys the changes that I am making to my trading. As far as brokers go, as far as investments go, as far as how I'm going to grow my capital, am I going to trade prop firms, all of that. So that's what we're about to talk about next. All right, so number one, let's talk about brokers. So for those of you that have watched my videos, you guys know that I was trading with KOT4X. It was an unregulated broker in which I was placing my trades, which allows you to trade with money that you don't necessarily have and open up larger positions in order for you to make more money. For others that trade with them, you guys know that they recently shut down. So I pulled all of my funds from them at the beginning of October. And so yeah, that was big news to me because I was not expecting that to happen. I kind of had this plan of how I was going to grow my money using an unregulated broker, how I was going to, basically just build my capital using that broker. And so that large change for me kind of really made me take a step back and think about what I want my trading to be going forward. And again, what kind of broker that I want to use. So going forward and moving forward, I know it is very uncommon, but from now on, I will be using a regulated broker to trade. And this is for a variety of reasons. Number one, we have seen in the last 2 to 3 years that prop firms, different brokers, as far as like even MetaTrader 4 kicking some brokers off, like there has been a lot in the trading industry that has changed due to US regulations. Again, for those of you that are not in the US, where I live, this does not apply to you, but for those of you that are in the US, we are all being affected by this. And so from me having to not getting paid out by prop firms, from me having to move my money around from unregulated broker to unregulated broker, personally, I'm kind of tired of it. I don't have time to be wondering whether or not praying that I'm going to get my little Bitcoin, whatever, show up on my phone of my withdrawal, praying whether or not I'm going to actually get a payout from a prop firm. Like, I honestly don't have time for that. It's just too much. It's too much for me personally, and it's real shady. And so where I want to go in the future, the amount of money that I do want to trade in the future, I need to make sure that it's protected, and it's protected by something that I could possibly take legal action against if need be. We making big monies now, we moving on up. So that was very important for me. Number two, I don't like the non-transparency. And honestly, with unregulated brokers, it's not transparent. You don't know who is managing your money. You don't know who you're talking to on the other end of a phone. And most of the time, it's not even a phone. It's a chat it's maintained by AI. So you're talking to AI about your problems and things that you may have. It's real shady. And no shade to against any brokers, no shade against people that use unregulated brokers. Unregulated brokers have been great in the industry. It has been a chance for people like me and you that may not have grown up with a lot of money, may not have access to a lot of capital, to get a chance to get their foot in the door with trading. And so it is a great thing to use. But for me, and again, right now where I am in my life and where I want my trading to go, I can no longer continue to keep putting my money in these accounts, not knowing who's managing it, not knowing if I'm going to get it out, not knowing what's going on. And so, like I said, with all of that being said, I am now trading with regulated brokers. My money is already in a regulated broker. I will be making a video about what regulated broker I do trade with as well, so you guys can see that if you guys want to do that. Now, other questions. Some people may be like, well, you can't risk as much with a regulated broker. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That is true. You got me there. That is true. And in order for you to actually make some money off of a regulated broker, you're gonna need some capital. You're gonna need some capital. And so for me, let's talk about a little bit of my goals. Now, I want you guys to see what it looks like me leveraging my 9 to 5, my nursing license, using the money that I'm making from my job in order to build the capital that I need in a regulated broker, so that my profits or my funds that I'm using are actually generating me a good income from trading. For example, the next year, while living at home with my mom and my siblings, while also working, probably picking up extra part-time jobs because I'm no longer in school, my goal is to save up $25,000 within the next year in order to fund my first very large account with a regulated broker. And so that's one goal that I have that I want to share with you guys. But again, I really just want to share this journey of and make it known that you can be a trader without trading with an unregulated broker. It is possible. It may take a little bit longer than normal. I may not be driving a Benz in 2 months like all of these other gurus that like to show you what trading really isn't, but that's neither here nor there. I want to show you a real journey and what it looks like to slowly grow and build your capital. To be honest, me doing things the slow way and taking things step by step has gotten me better results than it did when I was trying to get things the fast way, trying to flip accounts the fast way, blowing things here, blowing things there. Like it just wasn't doing what needs to be done. So this is the way that we're going to do it now. And I hope that you guys can relate. And I hope that you guys enjoy watching that journey of me using a regulated broker and building my capital over time. And so, yeah, that pretty much sums that up for right now. I can make another video going more into it about regulated brokers and things like that. Like I said, I will be making a video about the regulated broker that I use. But that was number one. That was something that was very important that I want to share with you guys, because again, if you watch my old videos, you know that I personally log into my broker and I actually show you proof of the trades and things that I take and the profits that I make from those trades. To be honest, that's not something that you really see too much of these days. And also with unregulated brokers, if you don't know, there are ways to edit things on the back end to make it look like you're making a certain profit, but you're really not. A lot of these people that you see, and I'm not naming any names, I'm not calling anybody out or anything like that, it's just the pure truth. They get paid on the back end, to promote these unregulated brokers and make it look like, they're working and they're making a lot of money, which not saying that they don't work. They do work, but it's advertisement. You have to just be conscious of someone who's saying, hey, I made all this money, and then at the end of it, they put a little tidbit in there, say, use this broker. Da 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 da. Like you got to use your common sense. You got to pay attention. As far as me, I think that it's very important that I keep that transparentness open with my broker statements, losses, wins, all of that, just so you guys, so that we can be here, so that we can develop that real and true and honest relationship, so that you guys can really be a part of my journey. All right, and then there's also one more thing that I want to talk about that I will be changing with my trading, as far as like my style of trading and my strategy and stuff. That'll be in a whole nother video when we get on the chart, so you guys can see that as well. Not much has changed, but whatever little tidbits has changed, it'll be in that video. But one other change that I'm making is what I am doing with my trading profits now. Now that I am out of school, now that I have a job that is able to support me and I no longer am just, dying for money, I want to split my profits up. So what I plan on doing is something that you guys can follow as well. And what I will be sharing is 50% of my trading profits will be going into the stock market. It will be going into other investments. And the other 50% will be for me. I think one thing that a lot of people see in the trading industry is, okay, people take their profits and they go buy a car, they go do stuff for their family and things of that is fine and that is dandy. But for people like you and me who doesn't come from a wealthy family, not saying that those people don't either or do, um we have to make sure that we make this a longevity thing. Trading can be here today and be gone tomorrow. Not saying that it will be, but you never know what could happen. So it's also important that we're taking the time to invest the money that we are making for trading and make it work for us, so that we don't have to be on the charts 24/7, so that we can start other businesses, so that we can make sure our kids, have access to the money and the things that we are doing. And so that is also something that I will be starting on this channel, just showing you guys my long-term trading goals, as far as investing, into stocks, ETFs, having dividends, and all of those things as well. I apologize, I'm outside. But yeah. So I think that'll be really, really exciting, because that's something that I'm very new to, but you guys will be able to follow along with that as well. Anything that I learn, I'm going to share. Again, I'm very humble, and I will sit here and tell you, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I am still learning things. I'm learning things in trading. I'm learning things about investing. But I think that it's nice to see someone like me and to be able to look and say, hey, if she's doing this, this is something that I can do too, which goes into my next point, just my goals for this channel in the future. I want this to be a channel where you guys look at, where I'm starting now, and hopefully sometime in the future I'll be way farther along with, with larger accounts, larger capital, making bigger trades, starting to make bigger investments. And you gotta be like, hey, if she started here, with just herself and a job and a skill, and she can get there, so can I. And so that's really what I want to be this channel about. What this channel to be about. I'm very, very, very excited for the future, especially now that I am able to truly pour into my craft. To also be able to pour into you guys and have the time to do that consistently. No shade to myself, but consistently, and just see where it goes from there. I want to see where God takes this. I think that this is my form of ministry to the world, whatever that may be. And not saying that I'm going to teach or anything like that, but my ministry, as far as being able to share my journey and you guys seeing what God can do with my life and what he can do when I take the things that he's given me and grow it into something bigger, and sees what he does with that. So yeah, I'm very excited. If there are some things that you guys would like to see, any videos that you guys want to see in the near future, please comment them down below. I also want to hear what's been going on with you guys in your trading journey as well. I like to think of this channel more as a community, and not just, me just making videos for you guys to just watch. Like, I actually like talking to y'all. I like talking to other traders, seeing what you guys are doing. I feel like there's something that we can learn and pull from everyone. Trading is an art. It is an art, as in there are many different ways to do it, there are many different styles to do it, and there's no one or correct way to do it. And so I think that we're all always learning, and it's good to be able to learn and pick up things from someone else, because that may just be the thing that changes your trading or your life for that instance. But without rambling on, again, I just wanted to share with you guys what was going on with my life before I just started, randomly spinning out trading videos as well. I want you guys to be able to, again, follow my true and transparent journey, so you guys can see what's going on. I will be making videos about, days in the life as a nurse and a trader, just how I'm managing everything, how I plan on saving my money, and just being real with everything. Again, like even me moving back home with my mother, that's not ideal. You know, a lot of people like to share the aesthetic of a new apartment. And although I could have done that, because again, I do have a new job and everything, that's not really important to me. I don't care about trying to live some lifestyle that I don't have. Not saying that I can't have it, but I really don't care. Right now, my goal is to save as much as I can, as fast as I can, and invest that money and to build my life from there. I'm very blessed that I have the opportunity to move back home and have, you know, that great foundation to where I can, you know, save my money and build up my accounts and move from there. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be honest about everything, and we'll be going from there. But again, comment down below what all's been going on with you guys, some things you guys want to see. I'm very, very, very excited for this next chapter in my life, and I hope to bring you guys along with me and you guys can learn something as well. So we done for today because it's hot out here and your girl sweating bullets and these folks looking at me like I've lost my brains. So see y'all later.